Okay, not gonna lie, this track actually is kind of amazing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to stop it. I mean, okay, I actually have to, because, that's what we're doing here. So, anyways, Laws and Lenny's 5 years later, Jacob Butter, whoop-de-doo, hi, I'm here. There's no point me trying to do that whole, flaring intro, because, again, forgot to connect the thing. I'm actually late this time because I was in the bath. That's it. That's the only reason. Anyways, oh, sorry. I was going to say something. Never mind. All right. I'm not going to ramble on for too long this time. There's not much else to say. There's a new letter coming in this episode that's called Another Letter. So let's go ahead and see about the letter. I have nothing else to say. So without further ado, on with the review.
Oh, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. Dislocated jaw, 3 teeth knocked out.
Oh yeah, this is the episode right after Gareth, punches somebody so hard they whack themselves into a tree and they've sustained all these injuries. There you go.
Fractured skull, broken arm from the fall. The student is currently in intensive care for the injuries he sustained.
I'm honestly surprised he is still alive, other than the fact this is a kid's show.
I hope you realize the damage you caused with the course of action you chose.
Well, yes, you just listed off the damage he caused by the action that he chose. That's how that works.
But I...
Enough! I've already heard your reasoning for what you've done. I'm sorry, Gareth, but nothing excuses the extent of the injury you've done.
He was harassing her!
Sexual harassment doesn't excuse the amount of force you used. If this was assault, then I can argue it was appropriate. But from the accounts taken, his confrontation with her was verbal, not physical.
You don't understand!
Gareth,
I was defending her honor.
The pure amount of force you dealt to this boy on a
We're talking giganewtons here. I'm kidding, we're not. I don't think we are. Maybe we are. I'm not sure. How much force would that have been? Is that a theory? I bet it might be theory.
Police report. This looks like you were aiming to kill him. Do you understand how serious that is?
It's serious enough to get you, limited ads on YouTube. This was 2017, so I guess aphmau wasn't worried about that, but there you go.
If they wanted to, this could be considered attempted murder. I don't give a darn at what happened, what he said to her. This amount of force, if not in self-defense, was absolutely out of bounds. Did you intend to kill him?
Wow.
I didn't mean to!
Oh, well, now that you mention it, Mr. Dean person, yes, I did intend to kill him. I'm going to admit that completely right now, because that's going to help my situation so much more. Obviously.
Honestly, don't know what happened. I swore I punched him normally.
Regardless, I'm going to let the authorities figure out what they'll classify this incident as legally. What you're in here for is to suffer the punishment given to you internally through the school. By all means, you would be expelled. No questions asked. But Irene knows the committee would not allow me to nix a legacy student. A Romeve at that so easily.
Yeah, that's a good point. I do wonder how American schools deal with legacy students and such. Because I've seen that concept. Ironically enough, I learned about that concept in the first ever game you play of Screen Tap, which is what I call episode Choose Your Story. But yeah, beyond that, not sure. Well, I mean, obviously it's a thing. I just mean, how'd that start? I must say.
Our school cannot afford to lose the funding your family has donated to the school.
There's actually a scene in a series that it's called The Sex Lives of College Girls. If you're too young, don't watch it. It actually is a really funny and well-made show. It's not just what the title sounds like. It's mainly more about the college girls than it is the sex life. So so yeah, just prefacing that. But yeah, there's actually a scene where something similar happens. There is one of the students who is a legacy as well, that gets sent to the dean's office for destruction of property. Well, I guess not kind of destruction of property. There's not really much she destroys. It's more like defacing a statue. Yeah, it depends. But yeah, she actually tries to bribe the people, or no, not bribe them, threaten them with action, Oh no, she does try to bribe them because, family funding and such. But yeah, it doesn't work, so community service for it. Which honestly makes a lot more sense and added, eventually developed her character quite a lot through the services she did. So there you go. Maybe give Garza community service here.
It goes against my morals to allow you to stay here after this incident, given its severity. But given the situation I'm in, I have no choice. Listen to me, Gareth. You get...
I mean, not even going to try talking to community here? I don't know.
One last chance. If I catch an incident like this again, or any sign of you acting out of the rules of the school, so help me, you will be kicked out immediately.
Okay, but you said that you couldn't do that now because of his situation, as a legacy student and such. Why would you be able to do it then? Would the committee allow it after a second infraction of a similar nature to what could have been classified as attempted murder? I don't get what you're saying here.
Do I make myself clear?
No, not in the least. What is your angle? How? What? No, you are not clear.
I don't care how much money your father throws at this school.
Except for in the previous bit of dialogue when I absolutely did care about that. What is your angle?
I will have you removed the moment I get a chance to. Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Good. Dismissed.
I don't understand.
I have to go back to see through Phoenix Drop High, but I don't think there was a moment when Garth displayed his incredible strength until much later. And I think that was the thing at that point. Oh well, give me reason to watch the prequels again, or the other prequels. Why not? I'll take it.
I didn't hit him that hard. I know I didn't.
I did not hit him. It's not
So
true.
why
It's BS.
did
did
I?
not hit him. I did not. Oh, hi, aphmau.
Give me one more time.
Aaron! Hey! Aaron!
Okay. He's trying to do his best JonTron impression. Aaron! No, I'm done! I'm done! There's a whole... Look up Aaron Freakout Sonic 06 and know what I'm talking about.
I've got a visual on
It took me a second for me to see Agent R in there, so, he is well concealed.
Aaron. He's heading back to his room, but he's walking rather slow, so it might
In fact,
take him
he's
a
not
while
walking
to
at
get
all.
there. Plus, it looks like he's taking the longer way. I'll keep a visual on him. All agents report to his room and wait for his arrival, which may be a few hours.
I love how somehow Derek managed to, legally station these agents around a university to stalk a student, somehow.
Roger.
How did he manage that? So that's my question.
Aaron! Wait up!
Yeah?
Oh, hi! I didn't think you heard me.
You were yelling.
Oh, I had headphones on. Sorry.
You're like,
No, that's fine. It was my fault. I mean, I know you're a busy guy and everything. I kind of know you're in the tech field and stuff, and that was something I wasn't expecting.
I mean, I'm full of surprises, I guess.
Honestly, a dude like you, I would think would be a sports jock or something like that.
Nah, he's voiced by Jason. He's got to be in tech.
Like a steal your girl kind of guy.
I wouldn't want to come
why?
across like that.
No, but he will date the girl you're interested in at some points. Bear that in mind, Mac.
You do because, I don't know. I might be a little bit jealous, but now I'm getting ahead of myself.
This guy sounds like Aiden for some reason in this scene.
Okay. Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was rambling. You seem like a guy who's really good with the ladies, and I was wondering if...
This sounds like the kind of line that was supposed to be like a freaking out line. Like, it's like, oh, I'm so shy, therefore I'm going to say this really quickly and stuff. And like that's why he looks like he's doing that pose. But yeah, I don't know what the direction was on here, but I feel like it needed a tweak.
you wouldn't mind me asking for a few pointers.
I think you have the wrong person. I am in no way good with girls.
Dude, you've got to be kidding me! I've seen so many girls checking you out!
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, here's the advice, do nothing, act mysterious, and also get strong. There we go. That's Aaron's secret there. Isn't there an episode called Aaron's Secret at some point? I think there was, or maybe will be. I don't know.
After the theater, I saw the way she looked at you. You can't be
there you
that
go.
blind,
That's the
man.
studio go.
Okay, maybe with that cloth you can be blind.
Of course.
But you don't realize the way the ladies treat ya?
No, I haven't, and I'm not sure what you're talking about.
The movies?
To be honest, this is the first time this has happened to him, so yeah, fair. It's a shock sometimes.
Diana and Jenny? How they were getting you everything?
They were just being nice. I've met them before, and sometimes it's hard to communicate with others.
Do you have many interactions with people?
No.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
I have a friend.
Perfect! Then maybe you're just too nice. Either way, I want to learn from you.
I really don't know.
Please? I just want to talk for a few minutes. I'm honestly looking for pointers.
How does... Yeah, Aaron just said he doesn't know. If it happens automatically around him, then he's not going to be able to give you a concrete answer, Mac.
Okay.
Perfect! Okay, my first question is, what kind of things do you say?
I don't know, whatever he said in the movie, apparently. He was being coached by aphmau with everything that he said, so... Yeah, I never know.
This apple is red, just like my Aaron.
See, it's more of a visual thing, absolutely.
Barf!
Aaron looks delicious.
Betty!
What? Why did you yell my name loudly?
Aaron is mine!
And I'm telling you, Aaron looks delicious.
Oh.
I say just think because aphmau was the one who went by Apple in Diaries, but there you go.
This is gonna be good. Back off, sister! I've been talking about Aaron for more than a year!
But you just got it today.
What are you talking about?
This is why you shouldn't name your food. You get too emotionally attached to the food and it causes problems, Jenny.
Huh? What do you mean?
This is why Kathy's able to stay in the secret for all this time. She doesn't act up like this. She knows how Jenny will get, and she's also not an idiot.
She's talking about the apple, you dorcas! She thinks you named the apple Aaron. Oh.
Jenny, I'm so sorry. I can completely understand what I said was wrong. I shouldn't
Now
talk
you
about
can.
eating other people's food in front of them.
Oh
It was
my
rude
word, no
of
you can't.
me.
Never mind, whatever.
Oh! No, Betty, I thought you were talking about something else. Here, you can have this
Or
stupid
someone
apple.
else.
Oh, you're giving me Aaron?
I mean the apple. Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Aaron.
What great eating sounds.
Jeez, Jenny. You're acting psycho. You really took that conversation out of context there. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I had Aaron on my mind. Yeah, when don't you?
And now Betty probably has Aaron on her face.
I mean, I've been having him more on my mind lately. No duh, you actually talked to him more.
And saw his actual face as well. And got him food.
Especially after the whole movies thing. Yes, but I
Which
mean,
was
Aside
Just
from
okay.
group events, I only talk to him in class. It's been hard to catch him outside of class and stuff. And when we do invite him out, we have to invite aphmau in order to get him to come.
Still, that's
What do you mean when that you act like that's a regular event? That's happened once. You've had one outing with him. What do you mean?
more progress as opposed to last year. You should be proud of yourself. I mean, I know I am. So why do you still gotta act all thirsty for him?
Because I like him and I'll probably never stop liking him. Ugh.
Yeah, people always say this. You know, it does take some time, but do you eventually grow beyond your feelings? I feel like Jenny would have. I guess maybe if she hasn't fallen for anyone in the past this badly, maybe she won't realize that. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
Still thinking about him?
Yes,
Yeah.
you just had a whole conversation about him. Of course you are.
I'm stupid in love.
So talk to us. What's on your mind?
I
Aaron, we've been over this. Aaron is on her mind.
realized that I wasn't the only one that likes him.
I mean, that was
anymore.
always a possibility,
Ooh, Kathy, careful. Careful. You're gonna give yourself away there.
right?
Yeah, but there are other girls after him, and I just know it! Have you seen the way the girls in our class look at him when he removes his bandana?
I'm surprised you look anywhere else. I'm surprised he removes his bandana in class as well. When does that happen? You just saw his face like right now, like in the 2 episodes ago in the movies for the first time. What do you mean?
I mean, he is kind of soft on the eyes.
Exactly!
Okay,
Ugh!
that's the most.
It just
that's
makes me
Kenny's
so
vote, right?
jealous!
I mean, he has been taking off that bandana more as of late.
As of late, how long has it been since the movies? What? Have we had a passage of time? Have there been more outings? We opened up immediately after the last episode happened, so... Well, not immediately after, because the guy got taken intensive care and everything, but still.
His confidence went up after the movies.
Exactly! Which makes him more attractive! Especially to that hussy Diana! Yeah!
I do agree that that confidence is more attractive in a person, and also I acknowledge that she actually used the word hussy there, which is what this is the exact wording from the letter before. Thus, you know, amplifying the fact that Jenny Matley was a suspect at this point. So yeah, you know what? Levi drink to all the subtlety going on. And to Kathy's mask somewhat slipping, but not really.
Ah, that hussy!
Wait. What exactly are you planning?
Wait a minute, maybe Kathy heard that word from Jenny originally and used it as a word to incriminate her. Whoa, okay. Alright then.
I need to tell him! I need to tell him before someone else sinks their teeth into him!
I
Will.
already sunk my teeth into him.
Haha.
I'm sorry.
Betty, no one cares about the stupid apple!
She didn't mean that apple, Aaron.
Ugh. I need to tell him how I feel before someone else does, or
Do you-
else I'm going to lose him.
So,
You know something? I used to go through this quite a lot where I was like, I can't possibly tell someone I have feelings for them and blah blah blah. I must be subtle about it, or this would never work, and if I say anything it'll ruin things, it'll be awkward and blah blah blah. There was this one time, the only time I've ever think that was actually like a justifiable mindset in my mind was actually because there was one girl that I did have a crush on ever since I was in year 8, and but she would rush away constantly, because around me, like at one point we used to be like really good friends, and then suddenly she would start avoiding me for no reason, and then if I tried to actually talk to her, she would say this. She the one time and went, "Stop stalking me" or something, and then afterwards someone actually asked her about like why it was that this avoiding me. When we were in a play together, and we were like stood next to each other on stage. In fact, at one point, she actually I had to lean her head in like on my hand because I was leaning on like a bench that she was actually sat on for a lot of the time. It was God's supposed to like the Gospels and stuff. Anyway, but yeah, so doing that was fine. But then immediately afterwards, yeah, zoom out of there. Did not understand that, and then out of nowhere, just like during a Christmas play or something, she actually just like came up and talked to me normally out of nowhere. Well, it's not out of nowhere because we were waiting in line while the teachers was there. Not waiting in line, we were waiting for someone to get picked up. Teachers were there, we were the last two there, and we actually talked for the first time in a while and got to speak to each other. Like, what? Yeah. So that happened. And then we were friends for quite a while afterwards. And eventually it took like a year after that. I don't know, maybe even 2 years after that, from that, when I actually had like an inkling that, well, actually, I made her confess her feelings first. That's the only time I ever played mind games, incidentally. So I was like, oh wow, I've heard you had a crush. Okay, well, tell me who the person is and stuff. Like, oh, and she's like, oh no, I'm embarrassed and whatever. And then eventually, I was like, okay, come on, say who it is, say who it is. In my mind, reveal your no. In my mind, it was like, reveal your secrets. Yeah. And yeah, she did. And then we dated like the year afterwards, actually. So that was a long time, but the reason I didn't say anything before was because I was worried that she would go back to around me, avoiding me, and then the whole progress would be lost. We had the same friendship group as well, so it was like would have been very bad if that ever to happen. But yeah, with everyone else, I just got into my head and got too embarrassed and everything, and then eventually, eventually I got into the habit. Like one time I actually confessed to this one girl who said, who turned me down because she was actually moving afterwards. She had a boyfriend already that I didn't know about because there's a different after-school drama club that, were not from the same school, so I didn't actually know that situation. But yeah, so I don't know. And then of course there's a story I've told before where I confessed to one girl and dated her best friend like a few days later. But yeah, I've already gone into detail about how that whole ordeal went down in the past. They were both okay with it, incidentally. It wasn't like I was deceiving either of them. But yeah, so once I got like out of that mindset, I was like, you know what, whatever. If something happens, it happens. And then I've learned the way to be casual about it, and just be like, okay, it doesn't matter. All the people who said before, oh, you've got nothing to lose and stuff, they're right. I acknowledge that now, and I apologize to any of the people who actually I did not trust back in the day. Most of you probably have access to this stream because I have you friended on Facebook, most of you. So, if you should ever come across this one day, you probably won't because there are like 200 of these. Yeah, there you go. That's my message for you. Message for everyone else out there is, don't get too far in your heads, because if you're casual about it and just be like, nothing needs to change or whatever, unless you want it to, there you go. That was also the mindset that I adopted after I realized I caught things from Monet, and then started actually giving more hints, or like being direct about it and honest about like feelings and such, and asked her out on a date like immediately afterwards. So you can see the results speak for themselves.
Oh, how are you going to get him alone then? You already said that it's hard to get him alone after classes, and when we go out on group events, it's hard to get him alone.
I was alone with him for a few minutes when we went bowling the other week.
Oh,
3
yeah,
nachos, please.
Wait, bowling? Hold on a second. What? Again, how much time has passed here?
Ordering food for everyone?
I mean, I could.
Of course.
Do you mind suggesting food? I want to surprise everyone with snacks.
Oh, maybe he's too nice, like Max said.
You're like my favorite person right now. I gave him so many suggestions and he bought my nachos for me. He's really a sweet guy.
Do I have to order food to get you alone?
That's what you tried in the movies that didn't work.
Oh, you are totes jelly, Jenny.
Shut up!
Seriously, you're going after a lone wolf kind of guy. It's gonna be hard to actually get him alone when he's in a group. Betty just gets lucky because she's a foodie.
That is true.
What if we go to laser tag this coming week? I can see it now.
He jumps in front of her to save her. Aren't you meant to like have vests that detect the lasers in laser tag? Isn't that how that whole game works?
We can't stay here, Aaron! Come Aaron!
You are completely exposed. That is a bad idea. And also staying back to the corner. Well,
There's too many people outside. We're not gonna make it.
aren't there hiding
Aaron,
spots in laser tag? This
I
is the
didn't
worst laser
pull
tag
you
ever.
back here because we're surrounded. I wanted to tell you something.
Of course you did. I want to tell you, this is the worst laser tag I've ever seen. Let's find a different venue, please, for love of Irene.
We may die, Jenny!
It's just laser tag, Aaron.
Get into
yeah.
character.
You're right. What's up?
Aaron, there's something I want to tell you.
Of course. I thought, again, he was going to aim for Jenny, but Anne was going to protect him and everything, you know. Or she was going to now avenge him against Mac. Oh no, she jumps in. Okay, fine. That works too. I should have seen that coming. And of course, yeah. Okay,
Jenny.
aphmau.
Aaron! I have something I need to tell you.
Tell me.
I've loved you. I've always loved you.
As
I
she
love you
should.
too,
Okay.
Jenny. Let's
Oh,
get
whoops,
married.
sorry.
Perfect.
Let's get married. Fantastic. Dies.
Oh boy, she's totally lost it.
Aw, leave Jenny alone. She feels the way about Aaron that I feel about food. I completely understand.
Look,
No one feels the way
doesn't
about anyone you
matter
feel about
how
food, Bessie.
sweet,
Get some help,
adorable
please.
Aaron is, I still think he's trouble.
Again, she's slipping a little bit. She probably would if Aaron proposed. Well, okay, yes, but obviously, you know, timing.
I thought trouble was your type, Kathy.
You guys have no idea how perfect the movies was. I would have been able to tell him how I felt there, but then Diana got in the way.
What is that sound?
Ah!
Betty is the Ace relatable character. Yes, but, you know, I feel like you're not as much of a foodie as Betty is, which is what I was referring to here, Maya. Not the Aero Ace part.
We have to do the movies again sometime.
But by then it might already be too late.
You're right. I need to do it sooner.
But how?
Text him.
He doesn't have a
Doesn't
phone,
have a phone. Everyone knows he doesn't have a phone. That was like one of the first pieces of information we all got.
Kathy.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Oh, you can totally do it the old-fashioned way.
Huh?
Human speech?
What's that?
Write him a letter that confesses your feelings towards him.
Okay, that works too. But that's how food is. Food is love. That's how love is used is explained to us usually. I mean, that's a good understanding of it, I suppose. That does help things, absolutely.
Something sweet.
But still, Betty has a problem. That's the difference.
That's a little too forward.
Well, then keep it short and simple. You don't even have to sign your name.
Yeah, don't make a random thing just like don't make it in rhyme. Thus, very clearly establishing that it is you and using the one chance that you have to leave early for a rehearsal to plant the envelope in somewhere that you know the person is going to actually see because you know where they actually what part of the corner of the dressing room they actually use, and therefore and then leave, and then immediately they own up to it later. You know, don't do that. Don't use that method. The flashbacks. They're coming to me.
He'll just think he's getting it from a secret admirer.
Hey, yeah!
Oh, that is a good point. When I did that thing, I literally wrote the girl's name on the envelope, but I wrote it in cursive because I never write in cursive, and I also printed the actual the poem itself so that there was no giveaways that was from me, except for the fact it was a poem and nobody else was that stupid.
And you can gauge how much he reacts and then tell him.
Oh, perfect. That way she won't make a fool out of herself if he rejects her.
Rejection?
Oh god, why?
Not saying it's gonna happen, but this is a better way to go about it.
You're right! Alright, I'm going to do it!
Okay.
Dear Aaron, I'm sorry I'm telling you this through a note, but I want you to know that...
I thought she was going to do the thing was like, Dear Aaron, no, too formal. Hi, Aaron. That from two. Just tosses the paper back.
I think so much of you.
Oh wait, Aaron already did that joke in graduation days. Never mind.
I have a huge...
Crush on you. And in time, I hope to tell you myself.
Oh, wait a minute. I've seen this handwriting before. This is from the girl from class. Jenny, this was from you, wasn't it? I'm sure he's seen her write at some point. He sat next to her in class before.
Your secret admirer. What?
He just got a letter. He just got a letter. He just got a letter. And it's obvious who it's from. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So... Wait, but we saw Jenny write that with a pencil, but it's magazine cuttings again? What? How? Huh? And yes, okay, I'm sorry to show you your last name again, but like, yes, that is the style of letter. And no, like, that wasn't the draft. Well, we know who sent the letter originally, because obviously the series is over. But that would raise more of like a question of like, okay, you know, Jenny is a suspect here because of the use of the word hussy in this very episode, and also because she's clearly paying attention to what girls are interested in Aaron now, and which ones ruin the moment, which ones are like, you know, opposition to her. So she's a strong contender right now as far as, you know, the mystery goes. But she didn't write the letter with magazine cuttings, so why is it in that stuff? I suppose we couldn't have Betty be like, oh, we should use magazine cuttings so that, you know, you actually, so that you can disguise your handwriting, and Joe's like, oh, good idea, because then if she would have thought of that herself or something before. I don't know, maybe if Betty suggested it, or maybe Kathy suggests it because she knows that she's done it before, and if it's the blame is actually pinned on Jenny. I talked myself into it. Yeah, it should have been that Kathy suggested that magazine cuttings, and then Jenny makes that, and then Jenny goes along and does this letter, clearly incriminating herself a bit more with that previous one. It could have even been from like another edition of the same magazine, because Kathy would have whatever lying around or something. That would make so much sense. And it's not a theory as much as it is like a hypothetical, because like I could have like that could have been how the story went down, just because of how, you know, Kathy's plans actually have been so secretive so far. And there are some things that I think I'm picking up on where Kathy was actually trying to frame Jenny because of her vocabulary, her disposition, her obsession, everything that she's learned about Aaron herself. So, yeah, there's more to this build-up now, honestly. Again, I put in the description that maybe this got drilled down. Like, Aiden has constantly been telling me that, oh yeah, this is like, this whole Kathy thing, like the letter thing, like, fades out later. I think it's just because the letter and the stuff, like that plot point, doesn't come up for so long. I don't think the mystery itself really disappears at all. I think it was always still there, but yeah, because like I've yet to see a single episode to do with the letter that does not deliver on red herrings, Kathy witnessing the whole thing and therefore acting, or Kathy actually setting something up so subtly that no one's going to pick it up on a first viewing. That's all you could want in a mystery. I don't understand. Like, is it? I don't know. it's kind of I guess it would be the same situation if, like, I don't know, maybe if the mystery of Emerald's secret and everything that was built up, it wasn't. Imagine Emerald's secret had more subplots, and the mystery of like the werewolf stuff, like, it got dropped and then picked up towards the end. So like episode 13, well, 12, 13, 17, all those ones, those ones were stretched out later and was like a more of a full length MyStreet season. If it had been done that way, then yeah, I think it would have been more of a case of it would more of a case like, oh, this was a bad mystery or something from people's minds, and Ian didn't give off enough hints or anything. So yeah, I think that if same thing with Falcon Claw here, if it had been the opposite, if we just compressed that and got rid of Xavier later on because he's a walking contradiction. Yeah, that might have been a better way to go about it. But that would, of course, also involved less content, so I'm not sure if I could exactly recommend that. But there you go. What I can recommend, by the way, is if people have seen the video that aphmau actually put out today, which is October 25th, it was adopted by the aphmau family in Minecraft. Honestly, like, sometimes I watch the beginning of modern aphmau videos to see like the hook for them, and this time I saw that I saw that there's a new like Christmas like meows like line, and so what happens is like they go to the door and there's like a bunch of meows they're doing, like they do like the squeak at first, and then they start like they all have like different notes they play. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I just wanted to that's nothing to do with the episode, just like it made me smile. Modern aphmau does have her moments. So yeah, anyway. Classic aphmau from 5 years ago, definitely has them in spades, and this episode is absolutely no exception. So with everything else, I wonder if there's not something else I need to say, because I think I was going to do some sort of like wrap up towards the end about like the basically everything I just said, which I said as a ramble instead of like a prepared like thing in my head. Is there anything else that I need to talk about in here? I guess not really, apart from the fact that Mac is still dumb for asking Aaron for pointers. Also, I don't remember actually any lines from aphmau in this episode, which is interesting because we don't tend to get anything, ironically enough, on outside of Emerald's secret. We don't tend to get anything that's like has no aphmau herself in it. So that's an interesting angle as well. I thought, aphmau's going to get sent a second letter or something like, I warned you. I don't remember as much about Falcon Claw as I thought I did, but then again, I don't think many people do, because everyone is always talking about the stuff that they don't. Everyone's always talking about the stuff that they actually think about, like Falcon Claw, but then they don't go into like the details of what it actually was, which is interesting. It's like some of the other aphmau roleplays in a way. People remember like vague details of them, but it didn't stick with them for whatever reason. I'd say there's some of like the best material of like the whole series in here, but yeah, people see it as being some of the weakest stuff overall. So I guess that we've yet to get to that point, but then again, we're nearly a third of the way done with like a typical aphmau season runtime, and I personally not seeing any major flaws yet, just minor nitpicking details for folks like me to harp on about for 41 minutes, nearly 42. So that's what I have to say about that. But also, my main question of this episode is how much time has passed? Because we seem to have got so many other outings since then. Did episode 8 and episode 7 have a time gap? Because 8 and 9 certainly didn't, because we opened up right where the previous one left off. So I'm still confused about that. But yeah, that's it. Everyone is a light, Jenny, Kathy, and Betty are, they bring a lot, especially on a second viewing. They bring so much individually. Betty still needs help, but in general, as does Jenny. To be honest, Jenny Gus needs more life experience. But you know what? She's made the first step. She's taking initiative and not just admiring from afar, like we've seen has failed time and time again. So yeah, I had a tirade at the beginning of this stream, which unfortunately my one spectator end up missing about Confessions of Feelings and how that went down. I'm not going to tell again because like watching that on replay is going to be incredibly boring otherwise. But so yeah, I'll leave it at that. But absolutely, I do like seeing the strides people take and go forward, especially when they remind me of stuff that I might have done myself. In fact, this was November, so November 2017. Yeah, actually, there is the play where I actually like I handed the poem to like the girl actually happened after this episode came out, which actually means that I might have been inspired by this. You know what? That's the worst thing that's come out of this episode. The effect on myself. You know what? It didn't go down too badly, but it easily could have done. So yeah, that's that. But so I guess we'll look forward to the next time that this this series fails to be underwhelming to me or fails to disappoint. I don't know what I'm saying here. The show's good, okay? Anyways, the next edition of the show will in fact be on the 29th of November, and it is aphmau's Enemies, with a thumbnail of aphmau, Jenny, and Diana, I'll focus on the two red herrings, which actually, if you saw the episodes on the playlist, you think the letter was for aphmau, and then aphmau's gonna like try to figure out like her enemies or something. Nope, that's not what happened. So I guess we'll find out how aphmau goes about with enemies of two people that have been nothing but kind to her so far, like genuinely. So I guess we'll see. This is a friends to enemies plot now. I'm sure some people are happy out there, and they'll be even happier on the 29th. Same time, same place, 5 years later. Until then, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters, and subscribe to us already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.